Okay, so now we are ready to start working on our About Us section, this one. This is a very simple section, it doesn't have a lot. The only thing is that when we reach into 765, then we won't be able to see this image. Only this text will be visible. The reason for the decision is because the screen size is too small, so I decided to skip this image. Besides, we already have one image in the background. So let's just get with it. So in our index.html file, let's go down. Okay, so this is our About Us section. Since it doesn't have any heading, so this section itself doesn't have any heading. However, we have this one div which contains these two children, the image and the text. The second child which contains the text has this title. So let's create a container, and to this container let's give it two children. The first one is an image, and the image is inside the images folder, and the name is, I think it's front one. Okay, so this is the first child. Now for the second child we have a div. What shall we give it? Title, class name. Let's give it class name description. And to this description let's create a h2 which says About Us, and then let's create a paragraph with lorem. Let's give it 15. Let's have a peek in the browser. Okay, so this is demo project, and this is our project. Let's go to About Us. Okay, so this is the image, and then we have this text which isn't enough, so we need to put in more text. What we are going to do is that we are going to put it inside the div. Let's give it class details and paste it over here. Now we need another paragraph. Let's copy paste this paragraph. Let's paste it 2 times. Okay, I think this is better for the time being. Now let's start working on the styles. So let's go to the style file. Okay, this is okay. Over here let's start About Us section begins. The name of the section is About, so we need to give it background image. So what we are going to do is that let's go up and look for the background over here. Copy and paste it over here. The only thing that we are going to change over here is change the background image. Okay, for the time being I think that's all we need. Next, let's define some properties for the container. So let's give it width. Let's make it 85% of the parent, which is this section, About section. And we have already defined width and height for all the sections. So each section inherits that width and height. And over here we are saying from that width, inherit 85% for this container. And for the height, let's make it same, 85% of the height as well. Then set the margin to auto so that this container comes into the center with respect to this section, About section. Then since this container has two children, image and description div, so we are going to set display flex, justify content center, and align item center as well. Okay. Then for the first child, which is About container and image, so image is the first child. As far as the width is concerned, so this width will reference this width. So we are saying whatever is the width of this container, give, let's say, 45% to this image. Let me copy paste it and let's make it description. And for this, let's make it 55%, the remaining. Okay, for the height, we want it to inherit the parent height. It is 100% of the parent height, which is this height, 85%. And we want to do the same for the other child as well. And since this is an image, we are going to set object fit property to cover so that the image gets restrained within these dimensions, the 45% width of the parent and whatever height is inherited from the parent. Okay, so this is how it looks. Now if you notice, this container is properly aligned with respect to the margins left and right are concerned, but we need to bring them center with respect to the height as well. So what we are going to do is that we are going to set display property. This one, let's copy this and paste it for this about section as well. Okay, that's better. Now before we define anything, first of all, let's give this part, or let's give this container which contains both of these both of these children, let's give it the glassmorphic effect. So for that, let's go up. Let's copy these two properties. Let's go down to this container, paste these two properties. Okay, now that's much better. Now we need to give it some padding. So container, padding all around, let's make it 1 rem. We have to give round edges as well. Border radius, let's make it 0.5 rem. Okay, that's better. We have to do the same for the image as well. Copy and paste it over here for the image. Okay, that's better. Now let's target this second child, which is description. Now this description again contains 2 children. Now we need to bring these contents, rather than in the center, we have to make it come at the top over here. So for that, so first of all, let's figure out why they are in the center. So that's because for this container, we have set the display property, justify contain and align item to center. As a result, this description is being placed in the center of the container as well, of the container. So now we have to override one of these properties, this one, align item. So we only want to override it for the description child, the child of the container. So for that, what we are going to say is that instead of saying align items. So this align items is defined in the parent, and as a result, it gets applied to all of its children. Now we are only targeting one of its child. So we will say align self. So only now this. So by using this property, we are overwriting the generic property defined in the parent. So we are saying to this self, that is this description, the alignment should be flex start. And now as you can see, the contents have moved to the top of the whatever the container is. Okay, so what we are going to do is that to this lorem, we need to increase its contents. So lorem, let's make it 30. For the second one, lorem 55. Okay, I think this much content is enough. Now let's target this font, and we need to also make this about us move over here towards the left, and we should decrease the font size. Shall we decrease the font size? I think font size maybe just a little bit. Okay, so copy, paste, and we are targeting paragraph. Font size, let's make it 2 rem, and line height, let's make it 2.4 rem. Okay, again we need some space between this image and this text. So let's go to the description and define padding left. So instead of extracting some space from the description, let's do this for the image. So padding right, let's make it 2 rem. Yeah, I think that's better. Now maybe we should remove this last paragraph. Or the other thing that we can do is, let's go to the container, and for the padding, for the top and bottom, let's make it 1.5, and for the left, let's keep the 5 rem. I don't like it. Now the image seems shorter than this text. So let's revert back to our original, and let's go back to the description, and padding top and bottom, let's make it 1.5 rem. Left and right 0. Okay, yeah, that's better. Okay. Text align, let's make it justify. Okay, that's better. Now let's move this towards the left side over here. And we need some space, and probably we need to shrink the size of the text as well. Okay, so font size, let's make it 1.8 rem. Now line height, let's make it 2.2 rem. Okay, let's copy this, paste it over here. Did I not paste? Paste it over here, and we are targeting H2. So font size is going to be 2.8 rem because the default font size is 3 something rem. Okay, I think this is better. Now we need to bring it in the left. Maybe we should still decrease some font size. So instead of 2.2, let's make it 1.5 rem. Okay, now for the text align, let's make it left, and padding bottom 1 rem. Okay, that's better. Now we need to define the transition property. This transition property. So basically what we need to do is that, let's go to the services. Okay, let's copy this part. So opacity initially should be 0. Transform, we are transforming it to 50 pixels down, and then when the show class is attached to it, no, we don't need to do this. Okay, when the show class, okay, we don't need this part, but then when the show class is attached to the container, we want to set its transform property, opacity to 1 and translate back to its original position. So copy, and let me paste it over here and then comment it out. Okay, so let's copy these 3 properties, Control X, and put it with the container. This container, paste it over here. So initially it's invisible. Then when the show class is attached, so okay, so copy, Control X, cut it. Okay, so about container, and when the show class is attached to the container, we want to set the opacity back to 1 and translate it to its original position. Okay. Now it's invisible initially. Now we have to let our spy, that is our intersection observer, know to keep spying on it, and the moment we enter into this viewport area, which contains this about us section, then make it visible. So let's go to our script, and let's get a reference to our container, the about section. Document query selector. We are not interested in the, are we interested in the about us section? No, we are interested in the container, which is a child of this about. So query selector, we are interested in about container. So this about actually references the child of the about, which is called container. Okay. Now because this about is a single element, so we simply have to do observer.observe, and we have to pass this about reference to it. Okay, good. Let's go to home and let's go back to the about. It didn't happen because okay, it's happening. So if we have already been to about section and then go somewhere else and come back to about, the transition will not happen. This animation will not happen. The reason is that we only want it to happen. We only want it to happen for the very first time, and then we are stopping our IntersectionObserver from continuously spying on this section altogether. So that's why it's only happening just once. Okay, now we have to make it responsive. So for 1200, I don't think we will be needing to make any changes. However, for 768 screen size, we want this image to disappear altogether, and we only want to see this text. And that's the only responsive change that we want to put into place. So let's go to our style. And probably we don't need to make any changes for 1200. Let's go to 768. So this is 768. Let's go to the end over here. Let's say about container image. We are going to say display to none. And then for the description, let's copy this, paste. For the description, we only have to give it width 100%. So initially, the image is occupying 45% of the width, and the description is occupying 55%. So now we are giving it 100% of the width. Okay, now let's test it out. So this is 1200. Okay, fine. Now when we get to 768, good, we don't need to make any change. Now the same should happen for 480. Perfect. Okay, I don't think, how is this behaving? Yeah, I think because this one has more content, maybe we should increase the font size and height 100% as well. Okay, so let's copy this. Okay, let's go to 480 and paste it over here. Now we are going to set height, minimum height. Again, let's make it inherit. Okay, now increase the font size. Copy, paste, font size, so 1.8 rem, paragraph. Okay, that's better. Okay, that's better. So we are done with the styling as well. Now we can move on to the contact us section. So this one contains an image, a map, and and then this contact us form.